Okay.
Ready.
Mountaineers search for their second win of the season on the road against Davidson. I'm Joshua Cormer alongside Appalachian State head coach Angel Elderkin. Coach, big win Thursday night against UNCG. Can you really just tell us your feelings? You've had a couple 24 hours or so to process and everything. Just what are your general feelings about that game and the season so far?
Yeah, just going back and reviewing the game, we weren't perfect, and I don't think anybody plays a perfect game at this point in the season, but we did a lot of things with our effort and our second effort that allowed us to get the win. We also shot very well from the free throw line and down the stretch. When you can go 10 for 10 in the last 2 minutes of the game, that really helped. So I was pleased with our effort, and I was proud of the way that we were able to close out. You know, from being with us last season, we were in a lot of those games, and to be able to get one early and close it out, I think was really important for our team.
How does that really affect the team, just knowing that last year down the stretch there were a couple games that slipped away and a couple games this year in the fourth quarter slipped away, but they were able to grind it out? What does that just tell you about their competitiveness, their ability to start finishing?
Yeah, my hope is that those moments they remember and they don't want to be in them anymore. And so you saw some hustle plays down the stretch of we're not losing. And I talked to them about how we have to develop that mentality. What's our mindset when we step on the court? Are we playing to win or are we playing not to lose? And I thought our team played to win, and I hope that we can continue to build momentum and just continue to get better.
You mentioned the free throws, 25 of 28 on the game against UNCG. That you are now 10th in the nation in free throw percentage. I know that was one of the biggest things worked on over the summer. How does it feel for the team and yourself as the coaching staff that all the hard work is paying off from the free throw line?
Yeah, I don't think when you tell kids, like, you got to do this to get this, they always buy in or believe you. And so last year during the season, we talked about how they had to get in and keep doing it. And we were only going up a little bit. And then this summer we really ramped it up. And I've put a chart on my door. They have to come to my office and physically write them in. So I've been kind of on them about it. So I love the fact that I can walk into a locker room and say, hey guys, we were 328th last season at this point, and now we're 10th. And you see their eyes. And I thought what was really impressive is Lainey, who shot 50% last year. She was in the gym after the win, after going 8 for 8. Maddie, who made key free throws down the stretch for us, same thing. Instead of going and shower right away yesterday, she stayed there, shot until she got on the bus. So you don't want them to, you want them to stay hungry and be humble about it, but we got to continue our process.
You mentioned Maddie and Lainey, and both of them had their best game of the season. Do you think the starters are finally starting to click with each other, really find their rhythm, because they had struggled early on in the year?
Yeah, I hope so. Those two in particular have spent a lot of time in the gym. And so as a coach, you want them to have success. You want to see their shots go down. You want to see their hard work. But I also know it's a process. So I think for Maddie, being out a year, she's got to get her timing back. And I thought that game was big for her, just in terms of a confidence booster. I thought it was huge. And then Lainey, the same thing. Lainey's a special player. She can give us that inside-out attack. And I think when she starts seeing the ball go through the net from three, she's going to be very dangerous for teams.
Now, Lainey didn't have a good first half. Foul-wise, it really put her on the bench for a little bit. She was able to just bounce back in the second half. How does that help a young player like Lainey just learn that you can not have a good first half, but you can really bounce back in the second? What does that tell her and really show the rest of the players?
Yeah, I think that's something that we need to shine a light on if it happens tonight with anybody else, because we got into that situation at UAB and we couldn't bounce back. In her effort in the third, she played I never took her out. She played the whole third and the whole fourth quarter, and she was so valuable that, hopefully if it happens again today, she can have the same response. But that's just a sign of mental toughness. We talk all the time about being able to do the next right thing on the next play. And for her, the next right thing was going out in the third quarter, running the floor, and getting her team easy buckets.
The reserves for your team outscored UNCG 17-2. Can you talk a little bit more about the depth? I know we've highlighted it before, but the depth of the bench, they've really embraced the roles, and it's showing this year.
Yeah, that's a key, and I think I'll share that. I didn't know the 17-2 stat, but I think I'll share that with our team because I told them today, Tiara, when you sub in, you're going against kids that have been in the game for 3 or 4 minutes, and so your ability to just sprint the lane and bury a three is so instrumental to our team. Maya, same thing with you. You sub in, you get a rim run. So getting them to understand how valuable. I mean, somebody like Dominique Jeffrey, we showed her 2 minutes. She stopped the post player twice, so she prevented 4 points and got us a bucket. And when you play in a one-possession game, you've got to just get everybody on your team to buy into their roles.
Last season, the game against Davidson came down to the wire. Justine Lyon for Davidson hit a layup with about 6 seconds to go after Lainey Gosnell hit back-to-back threes to tie the game. Have you really talked about that game with the team, or are you trying to forget about it and just move on to this is a new season, new team, they will finish this game?
Yeah, we mentioned it about how it went down. I mentioned that we lost by 2 and we missed 8 free throws because I'm really on the free throw kick. But my assistant coach, Coach Pierce, who scouted them, said to me, don't watch it. Don't watch it. He said, we are so much better this year that I don't know how much you'll get. And, I try to go back to see what the opposing coach will do. But we've really I'm keeping them trying to stay focused. I talked to them like last year at this time. We had to show you winning plays we weren't having. And now I'm trying to get them to buy into last game we had 37 winning plays. Let's get 40 tonight.
What's the one thing you want to see from your team tonight? What's the biggest keys that really gets them a win against Davidson?
We got to defend the three-point line. I'm going to give you 2. We got to shut down the three-point line, and we've got to be one and done. We've got to box this team out. Dangerous three-point shooting team and excellent on the offensive glass.
And finally, can you leave us with one final thought that you've had about the team, the matchup, just anything in general?
I just want to see our team continue to grow. When you're starting early in a season, you get to see how resilient they'll be after a loss. Now I want to see how hungry will we become after a win.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.